Welcome to another installment of 5-Minute Tones. On today, we're on the FM9. I've got the public beta release of firmware 8.02, and I want to dial in a super gnarly sounding synth fuzz, similar to what you may have heard with pedals like the Way Huge Atreides, the Electro Harmonix Micro Synth, or the Eventide Knife Drop, which I featured on the channel recently. So we're just going to use the ODS 100 Clean as a cleanish starting point. There is a bit of grit on here. I'm using my free cab IR and a bit of the gold plate reverb. I'm on the split coil mode of my PRS CE24. Very straightforward stuff. Let's start off with a synth block. There's going to be one part of the equation, and I have set this up with a pair of sawtooth waves, as you can see on voice 1 and voice 2. Tracking is set to pitch and envelope on both of them, but I have just detuned them slightly. So voice 1 by -5 cents, voice 2 by +5 cents, and then I've combined that with a square wave that is dropped down an octave. Now, this on its own, I think already sounds pretty cool, but we're going to bring it to life with some filtering and some fuzz. Is just a classic combination on there. What I actually like doing is dropping the mix on this to around 60% so that there's a little bit of the clean guitar signal in there. Let's hear that. Let's make this sound super filthy now. And we're going to use one of the new fuzz models in here. I'm going to add a drive block before the amp. I'm going to use the Pi Fuzz. I really like the triangle and the Russian models in here. You can play around with stuff like the wicker and tone switch on here. What I'm going to do is crank the sustain over here, and I might turn the wicker switch on. Let's just have a listen to what it sounds like without the synth first, and then I'll bring the synth in. Do now is I want to shape what's coming out of the synth with a filter, and I've done a video in the past with this one using a low pass filter set up to the envelope modifier. It's so much easier to do now because you can just come into the filter block and you can select the envelope filter type in here. I generally like cranking up the sensitivity on this one. I'm going to change the detector source to input 1 because I'm placing it after the synth, but I want that envelope to be determined by my raw guitar signal, and I'm going to turn the resonance up a little bit on this. This is already so fun. Okay, let's tweak this a little bit. I kind of like the mix mode on here, and I'm going to bring the stop frequency up a bit, along with the attack and the release time and the emphasis. Let's have a listen to that now. toy around with those to your heart's content. I thought it sounded pretty good at just the stock settings on there, but I'm kind of digging how gnarly that sounds in there. We could add some extra modulation to all of this, and we could also add in, say, some intelligent pitch shifting if we wanted to. So let's do that really quickly. In between the amp and the cab, I'm going to add a pitch block. I'm going to set it for a pretty straightforward dual. Am I going to do diatonic? I'm going to do diatonic over here. That's the octave divider. I want dual diatonic. Let's set the key to E. We'll make it an E minor kind of thing. And I'm going to set the harmony over here to be a fifth. So let's do 5. That is so filthy and so fun. One cool thing about this envelope filter is with the detector source, if you've got it set to input 1, you can maintain the same filter characteristics, but place it after different blocks. For example, if you wanted to try it after the drive block, you're gonna get some very different behavior. And to polish everything up and really kick it over the top, let's put a phaser before the drive block on there. This one's inspired by the way huge a tree it is, which has a built-in phaser, and then I'll put a dual delay on the end. Let's try it without the delay, and then with the delay. I'm going to play you all out on this one. If you like these kind of videos, you can support me directly via my Patreon or by checking out some of the music that I make with my band Ragdoll. Let me know what you'd like to hear on the next episode of 5 Minute Tones, and until then, have some fun playing your guitars. I know I am.